Pixiu is a dragon, all right? And Chinese believe that your dragon is protection. They believe that the Pixiu actually will go out there, grab the wealth for you, and brings it back. Now, what it does is, if they feel any type of negativity, they also protect you from that negativity. So it absorbs all of that negativity and it protects you from it. So you're not as targeted as you would without the Pixiu. So it does all that all together.
Put up your mask, let down your guard, and let's talk about the real. This is the Bring Your Own Mask podcast. All right, everyone. Welcome back to the Bring Your Own Mask podcast. I am so excited to be sitting here with Shelly Perro. She is the owner and founder of these very powerful Pixiu bracelets. I actually have one on right now. Actually, I found Shelly on YouTube one day and I was just so mesmerized and intrigued by her messages with the Pixiu Feng Shui bracelet. So I'm very excited that she's here. She's also a single mom of 3 and a flight attendant. And really, I'm just excited to dive deeper into this bracelet with her. So Shelly, welcome to the show.
Well, thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to share my story, share my bracelet, and all the positivity that it has given me over the last couple of years. So I'm excited to be here. Thanks for having me.
Of course. So first and foremost, I just would love to ask you, what does abundance mean to you?
Abundance has different meanings, obviously. When you look at abundance, people think a lot. They think things that are given from the outside into your own world. Now, the way I see abundance, it could be love, it could be material things. Abundance can have so many definitions, but my definition of abundance is love. I know it sounds crazy, but I just think that when you have a lot of love, whether love for things around you, love for your family, love for just simple bracelets, just love in general, I think it just brings so much positivity into your world when you have that appreciation and that love for things that surround you. So to me, abundance, that would be my definition.
I love that so much. I love that you say that everyone has such a different definition of abundance. I mean, so many times we place abundance as like a material thing and we don't realize that someone else may see abundance completely different. So that's also why I love to open the show with that question for you, because, you know, obviously you sell these beautiful Pixiu bracelets, which we'll get into in just a bit. And a lot of what you do is teaching people about how this bracelet can bring you abundance. It can bring you love and bring you happiness. So I love that you say that first and foremost, it comes from this center of love. So yes. If you don't mind, I actually really want to get right into it. So
yes, definitely.
Let's put down our guard. Let's put up our mask and let's talk about the real. So Shelly, how did you first get into this bracelet, right? This Pixiu bracelets?
Well, I've always been very philosophical. I've always loved to hear about, you know, what can enhance your life, whether it's a tarot reading or something that is going to enhance my life at this point. And so when I started looking into what can better my life, because I was going through a really hard time at that point. I was going through a divorce. I was in a really low point in my life and I have 3 children. And, you know, when you think you're getting married for life. And then you're faced with someone that is telling you they need to move on. And anyway, so that's kind of like another bracket of my life that I'm sure we can get into at another time. But I remember I was just feeling really down. And with that, I was starting to look for some kind of anchor to get me out of that dark place. And so what I started to do is researching how can I just find that light, you know, to bring me back to who Shelly was. And that was the hardest because I was in a really dark place. I mean, I was having dark thoughts and that's just not like me. And I had 3 kids that were depending on me, looking to me for answers, and I didn't have them. So it was really hard for me. And so I decided to look for something, whether it's an object, or I started talking to people and getting out of my comfort zone to just try to find something that can help me, whether it was financially or even emotionally. I wanted to just have my heart back, you know, and my confidence. And then I heard of this bracelet, which was fantastic because people were saying how they went through so much turmoil in their life. And the minute that they had the bracelet, it brought so much into their lives. And the minute they separated from the bracelet, their life kind of came back to normal. And I remember thinking, I have nothing to lose. I want to try this bracelet. I really do. I want to see if this is going to work for me, because at this point I was desperate. So I ended up finding this bracelet. I started wearing it and I saw a little bit of a change, but I didn't see it as much as I wanted to. So I decided to have it blessed by the local temple. I just thought by a blessing, it would give it that much more power to me. I just thought that maybe by this blessing, it would just bring it to the next level, which it did, because the minute that I had it blessed, it just changed everything for me. I started wearing it. I started understanding it. It was almost like a relationship between the bracelet and I. And the minute I wear it, I started feeling all this vibration. And I was like, is this really happening? What is going on? And it's almost like an electrifying feeling. I can't explain it. The minute I wear it, it just changed my whole outlook on things. Things started coming to me. When I say things, I mean like outside forces. And I can't explain it, you guys. It's like you almost have to wear it to understand it. Things were coming into my way to help me. It's almost like everything that I was starting to manifest was coming to me, and I started building my confidence again. And then I was given the tools. It's almost like I wanted to help people that were going through the same thing. And I started giving out these bracelets to my friends and family. I remember my girlfriend was going through something similar at the same time as me. She was going through a really rough breakup. So I told her, hey, this bracelet may help you, because I know it helped me a lot. So it started like that, little by little. And before you know it, it just changed everybody's life. And I was like, I think I have something here, because obviously, if I'm going to talk about this, it has to work for me. Obviously, I'm not going to advertise something that hasn't worked. And so I started giving them away, and I started getting a lot of positive feedback from them. And I said, you know what? I think this is something that could help so many people as it has helped me. And yeah, I started making them, and I started just talking about them. And the more that I would talk about them, the more people were coming back to me saying how much it had changed for them, changed their life for the better. And from there, it just skyrocketed as far as the good that it was giving. It's almost like the more you talk about something good, the more the universe gives back to me. And my life just completely changed. And here I am a year and a half later. I can't believe I'm still standing. I've changed my life for the better, for real. As far as supporting my children, I was able to do that, which is something I couldn't do for the longest. At the beginning, it was so hard. There was so many struggles. I didn't even know if I could keep my house. My outlook is more positive, and it's such a change now. Now that I have them, I started making like a collection and just making them more accessible to people. And they are amazing. They've really changed my life.
Yeah, I love that story, because it's almost as if it's from your trials and tribulations that it
Yes.
birthed this beautiful opportunity and this beautiful experience for you. So I'm curious, when you first learned about the Pixiu bracelet, right? What was it about the Pixiu bracelet that you feel like is what brings so much opportunity? Can you tell us a little bit more of the story of the Pixiu bracelet?
Yeah, I know that from the story that was told online when I first heard it. This person had been living with an alcoholic family. He ended up being homeless. And this person, out of the blue, just came up and gave their Pixiu bracelet to this homeless person, who ended up getting picked up from the street and given a second chance, and their life turned around completely. And so I remember thinking, wow, and there was another example of a woman who was an alcoholic, had lost her entire family, and from there found the light again through this bracelet, who someone had given her that. She even lost her job. I mean, everything was going wrong. And so from there, her job came back to her. There was other opportunity that was given to her. Her family connected with her. Just like everything positive started coming around her. And I remember thinking, I need to know more about this bracelet. I have nothing to lose. If it doesn't work, I'll just return it. It's no big deal. But you know what? It's not going to hurt to just try this. And I remember trying it, and I was feeling some of the positive effect, but it's almost like I wanted more. I wanted more because I believed in this bracelet. I wanted this bracelet to give me more. And it's only the day that I decided to bring my particular bracelet to the temple, I feel like it just changed everything for me. It brought it to that like next level.
Yeah.
Yes, I was getting luck, but not as much luck as people were saying. So the minute that I brought it to the temple, it just changed everything for me. And that's how I knew that, as far as wealth, to give you an example, just to answer your question, like I said, I almost was so close to losing my home. I hadn't paid it for 3 months after my husband, who was supporting me at the time, left me. I had just started my career as a flight attendant, and we weren't making a lot of money. He was the one that was making the money to support me, because I'd given up my job to pursue my dreams. And so the fact that he was supporting me meant a lot to me. But when we separated, which was my decision because of infidelity, I just thought that I deserved better. But by doing so, money wasn't coming in, and we still had to go through the whole process of court and whatnot. And it was very hard. And during that time, not only was I trying to find myself, I just didn't have any money. There was no income. And me traveling, being away from my kids, that was the biggest struggle, because not only are you dealing with a family that's hurting, but you're not there. You're not there to give them that support, that financial support, that emotional support. So that bracelet came such at a good time. I remember I was given an opportunity at work. There was an increase in pay. I was asked to do some HR, which I hadn't thought that I could do, just grow with the company. So that was great. It's almost like things were given to me, like olive branches. And I was just like, oh my gosh, okay, well, I'll take them. It's almost like things were coming along. And then I never thought they would, like, you know what I mean? It's just all unexpected things happening. And then money slowly started coming in. I was getting checks from someone that owed me money from so long ago that I'd forgotten. I received that in the mail. Then I was just like receiving little amounts of money. I was just like, where is this coming from? I'll take it. Thank you. But like at the beginning, I didn't make the correlation with the bracelet. A lot of things were happening for the best. And then I started thinking more positive about the bracelet. And the more I was thinking about it, the more I was reading about it, the more it was telling me that the more you believe in it, the more things will manifest for you to build on that positivity and to attract all the things that you want. It will give you all the tools. So I was given the tools slowly without even noticing it, and before you know it, I built a business. I went back into my old business, which I had quit when my husband started supporting me at the time. And so I went back to my old business as well. I started regaining my strength. So it was just an amazing feeling to just kind of get your life back. And it took time. Don't get me wrong. It took time, but I was just grabbing all of those tools that were given to me as the months progressed. And it was incredible.
Yes. I wanted to ask you in terms of the bracelet, right? I know a lot of people are probably going to ask this question, which is, what is the Pixiu? Can you tell people that don't know what the Pixiu is? Can you tell us the story behind that? Yeah.
Yes, of course. The Pixiu is a dragon. All right. And Chinese believe that your dragon is protection. What it does is you have it in gold, you have it in silver. They believe that the Pixiu actually will go out there, grab the wealth for you and brings it back. Now, what it does is if they feel any type of negativity, they also protect you from that negativity. So when you have negative thought, it'll absorb it. When people are sending you the negative vibes, whether it's jealousy, whether it's some envy, there's always some negative thoughts that are either coming from you or coming from your environment. It protects you from that as well. So it absorbs all of that negativity and it protects you from it. So you're not as targeted as you would without the Pixiu. So without the Pixiu, you're totally open. You're getting all that negativity coming your way. And sometimes you're just not feeling right. My grandmother used to say, you're probably having that evil eye. My grandmother was Italian and she kept on saying she had this little oil that she used to do a little cross, like, let's release that negative energy you've got. That's probably why you're feeling down or you're feeling drained for no reason. There's emotional reasons why you are feeling drained, but why feel even more drained when you don't need to? Sometimes the people you surround yourself with, just that negativity, you just want to get rid of that. And the Pixiu has helped so much in doing so. And again, chasing that gold, chasing that wealth and bringing it back to you and giving you the tools. So it does all that all together. And the obsidian works like that. The obsidian actually helps you with that negativity to protect you. It kind of creates that huge shield around you where it bounces out the negativity or it absorbs it. And what it does, that's when the cleansing comes into play, where you need to cleanse it just in order to release all that negativity. And you could do that once a week, twice a week. When you see that it's working, but not as much as it would, and that's when you get that cleanse, just to make sure that you can kind of restart your Pixiu from the original point when you got it. So it is a defender, wealth giver, and it also helps with your health because it has a lot of positive effects on your body, whether it's circulation, positive thinking, because it all starts from here. So much positivity as far as protecting you and bringing all the wealth, like I said, and the health that you need and the luck. I mean, it has brought me so much luck as well. I hear all the time how people own my Pixiu and have won the lottery. They've won, one of them won $400. Yeah, I know. The other person texted me, she said she won $800 with just putting a few dollars in the machine. So I'm like, well, that's awesome. Yeah, I mean, I'm not a gambler. I haven't really played, but yeah, it's worked for them. And I'm like, that's awesome. I'm really excited. You can see some reviews on the website too of what it's done for people. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, I love that. And that's the whole reason why I invited you on the show. It's funny because my fiance was like, oh, make sure you ask her these questions because I'm so curious, right? So one of his questions was, is there a specific way that you can talk to the Pixiu, or like, is there a way to form a relationship with the Pixiu so that it could bring you more wealth? And
Oh, totally. I mean, the minute you get it, you're going to feel that vibration right away, whether it's a small vibration, because you have to be in tune with your body to understand that too. So if you've never really owned a Pixiu and you don't know what to expect, the minute you wear it, you might feel a little bit of warmth. So that would be the first step of your connection. Now, it's really important to talk to your Pixiu daily. I know it sounds crazy. Pixiu is like having a new puppy, a new pet that you're going to have to take care of almost every single day, because there's rules that come with a Pixiu. You don't just own this Pixiu and just kind of throw it around at night and leave it wherever. There's actually a set of rules that you need to respect, that you need to honor in order for the Pixiu to work for you. So it's kind of like a mutual understanding between two best friends, just like a pet. If you take care of it, it'll take care of you. Now, the way that you can communicate with it is just by putting your hand on it and talking to it. And you have to remind it who is master. Like, for example, you put your hand on the Pixiu and you say, I'm your master, and today this is what I need from you. You have to be very specific in the questions that you ask. You can't be too general, because when you start being general, it will not bring exactly what it is that you're looking for. So when you ask for a question, always try to be as specific as you can. For example, if you say, I would love a lot of money, that is too general for Pixiu. He might give you some money, but he doesn't know exactly how much you need. So when you do talk to it, you put your hand over it and you ask it exactly what it is that you need. So let's say it's $500 for a particular item or for something that you need for your home. You say, I need exactly $550 and I need it by this week. And when you say by this week, it is still very general. So if you want it by Saturday, you say by Saturday afternoon, and you just give it some thought, touch it. And again, you have to be very realistic in your goals. If your goal is to have $1 million by tomorrow 3:00, obviously you have to manifest these things. All right. They will give you tools. Pixiu will give you the tools to get there. All right. It won't happen tomorrow morning, but they will start manifesting for you to get to that goal. So you have to have realistic goals again, but he will serve you. He is there to serve you. And that's how you start the connection, by holding on to him and just talking to him every single day. Now, again, our little reminder, you can't just take your finger and touch the Pixiu where the eyes are. Try not to touch the face and the eyes. All right. That's why I put my entire hand. So you don't have a specific place where you're touching, and don't touch the back as well. The face is where it attracts all of the wealth, and then it kind of holds it in. That's why it doesn't really have a derriere, is what I call it. So the way that it's formed, I know, I'm just very specific about that. So it's there to attract it, to bring it into your life, and to keep on going and fetching it for you. So you don't want to start poking at it and be like, hey, I want that. No, you put your hand and you speak to it. A good thing is to speak to it 3 times a day, morning, afternoon, and night, and you'll develop a relationship with it, a really strong bond with it. Now, if you were to take it off for a few weeks and put it back, you have to rebuild that friendship. So just so you know, when you do take it off, there is going to be a time where you're going to have to kind of reconnect with the Pixiu, unfortunately. So I always recommend to wear it as much as you can, just so that bond keeps on getting stronger and stronger. Yeah.
I love that. It's so exciting because I've had my Pixiu now for about a week, and I'm literally following all of your instructions. I watch all your videos.
And there's a lot of instructions too. And I've got that little piece of paper that comes with it, so you guys can kind of fold it and put it in your pocket if you forget. These are a few things you have to remember so that it works the best that it can for you.
Right. So I'm curious, what gave you the idea to have it be blessed by a monk?
I don't know if you're religious. I'm Catholic, but I know that the Pixiu originated from Thailand and China, which are both countries that are very, very into bracelet jewelry. For them, jewelry means a lot. When they pray with a certain bracelet. Amulet is what they call it. And my dream is to go to Tibet. I'd love to go there, and also Thailand. I'd love to go to Thailand. And I've always had a strong connection to their items that bring luck. And I know, like I said, they're very intuitive people. And I understand that they put a lot of value in their things, in their objects. And so I just thought that, hey, how about we just bring it and see if it's going to give it that extra energy. It wouldn't hurt, right? And I did. And when I did, I just saw such a big difference. It was incredible. And I noticed a lot of people were not doing that. They were just basically selling them, which, yes, has brought some luck to a lot of people. And it has to me, but I just noticed how it just took it to that extra level by just getting it blessed. And so that's when I knew that I had something that I needed to share with everybody, because if it worked for me, I knew it would work for so many people around the world. And so when I started giving them out to my friends, they were just like, oh my goodness, it's incredible what it's done for me. And so, yeah.
So what are some of the results, would you say, that the Pixiu bracelet has brought to you that you can just say off the top of your head right now for podcast listeners?
Oh my gosh, I have so many. And even on my website, I have people just telling me, I've did this, I've won this. Well, the lottery, for one example, another one has found her love, her true love. She had been looking for her true love forever. So she's like, because of your bracelet, I was able to find true love. Thank you so much. She invited me to her wedding. I was like, oh my gosh, thank you. I mean, for me, I'm a true believer and it's worked for me. As you can see, I'm standing today. I wasn't where I was a year and a half ago. I mean, I have a video of when all this went down and how I was feeling. And you see me now, I'm a transformed person. I found myself again, which is so much for me. There's no money that could have given me that confidence back. But the Pixiu has been there through everything and it's still there. It's still providing for me. Sometimes I have a hard time to accept it, which is the weirdest thing. It's almost like I'm too modest and I'm like, no, I don't think I deserve this, which is a mindset that I need to change. I feel like I'm not deserving of something, which I don't understand why. And I still struggle with that now. I see a lot coming in, whether it's money or love. And I'm like, how am I deserving all this? Like, I don't feel, which is the weirdest thing. And this is something maybe we could talk about later, but it's a struggle that I'm still living with because I feel like, okay, what did I do to deserve all that? Which I need to change that mindset. And it's bothering me because I do deserve it. And I need to repeat that to myself. But when it comes, I'm like, oh, thank you. But why? Like, you know what I mean? But going back to your question, I'm one of them. And also my girlfriend who I gave a bracelet to, she was a flight attendant too. And she went through a breakup. I think I told you, not only did she find love as well, but right now she just closed on $2 million deals in real estate.
Wow.
She is like living the dream right now. And she's like, you have no idea, Shelly, the bracelet has just changed everything. And if you see her in every of my videos, she is wearing it. That thing has been on her arm for a year and a half. She's got it on. She's so cute. And she's like, if I have to take a shower with it, which you're not supposed to, she'll even sleep with it, which you're not supposed to. She's like, that thing is giving me so much luck. I mean, if she could sleep with it and roll in it, she would. She still has it. It's incredible. She loves that thing to death.
Wow.
But I'm so happy for her. Her whole life changed financially and love wise. So I'm so happy for her. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And her health too.
That's amazing. I mean, for everyone that's listening, I just can only imagine how much opportunities this bracelet can give people, which again, when you were talking about vulnerability, that reminds me that we should take off our mask now. And I really want to dive deeper into these vulnerable things that have happened in your life that has gotten you to where you are today. I think a lot of people don't like to talk about these things because they're afraid of what people might think of them or whatnot. But I feel like the more you share your vulnerabilities, the more people can relate to you and you can, who knows, change someone's life, right?
Yes,
Let's
totally.
And I'm going to ask you this question, which I've been dying to ask you. And that is, how do you feel like your divorce with your husband, I know that was just relatively recent. How did you feel like that shaped you to who you are today? Like, how did that experience shape you?
Wow, that's a very deep question. And all right. Well, it's shaped me in many ways. I mean, I've always been a confident woman, but you know what? Being married for 15 years, you lose yourself. You do things for others, right? I have 3 children. So everything revolved around him, his schedule, my children, and I put myself basically last. And that became very apparent after my first child because, hey, let's face it, when you have children, you forget about who you are, right? You start cooking for someone, you start cleaning for the family. You're always there at their disposition, if that's even a word, because, I'm French, so my English is not the best, but you're always at their calling. And before you know it, it's who you are. And I remember that was really hard to face the music, to just be like, okay, this was me. I'm now a we. All right, we're now a unit. And that's okay because that's what I wanted. I wanted marriage, I wanted kids, and I thought that was going to last for life because when you get married for life. So we went on and then it became apparent that I just wasn't me anymore. Now, the minute that we separated, it was just really hard to find myself at that point because I just didn't know who I was. So it's just like, do I work? Do I not work? Who am I? Even though I had started searching for myself around the end because there was some red flags around the end of our relationship where I started reaching out to kind of pursue my goal because I was there for him this entire time. And I was supporting his career. He had almost 16 years in, and I felt lost because I felt like I stood by you, took care of your children all this time. Now I want to do something I love. And that was being a flight attendant. So by being a flight attendant, I kind of found myself that he wasn't on board with that, me traveling and me being away and me trying to find myself because that wasn't the mother that took care of his kids anymore. I was more of an independent woman. So I started putting work on the back burner to make him understand you're still my priority. I could like give up some lines, whereas my friends could pick up some shift and I could stay home more. So again, I was accommodating him and my family because they came first. So I kind of lost myself again, even in my new job, because I made it so that he understood that I was home more than being away and doing what I loved. And then when it came time, when I found out that he had cheated on me, I knew that I deserved better. I'm one of those, like, if you cheat on me, it's over. And I know for a lot of women, it's hard to do that. And it was hard. And that, I think I knew what the struggle was going to be, but I didn't know until I was really living it. You know, I was just like, really like, it's over. Here's your stuff. It's all outside. I'm changing the locks. We're done. Right. But then you're like, oh crap, I've got this payment, this payment, this payment, this payment, this payment. How do I do it now? Wow. I went through a huge depression for a little while. I was in a really, really dark spot. And when I say dark spot, yeah, dark spot. I'm not going to get into it, but I remember I went to see, a doctor, and she told me you need some sleeping pills because you haven't slept in weeks. And I remember thinking, no, I don't want any. I'm going to turn to exercise. I'm going to turn to something because I don't want any drugs of any kind. One, I don't believe in drugs. And two, I just don't think that was in me anyways. And it was hard because it's tempting. You haven't slept. You want to turn to something that's going to help you. But you know what? I started doing exercising. I know it sounds crazy, but I started exercising. I remember crying, exercising. I remember running my 2 miles at the gym, bawling in the car, but I said, I'm going to do this. I don't care. And actually working out helped me so much. And not only did it help me lose weight and make me look and be healthy, because I have a heart condition as well. And I was worried that that stress influenced my condition and make me worse than I was. You know what I mean? So that was really important because I knew my kids needed me. So that was my thing to look forward to. My children, like, you need me. I can't get that stress get the best of me, because if I get sick, they'll have no one. I mean, they'll have my ex, but he wasn't available at the time. He was so in love with this other person that he left us for, that I think he was in a love tunnel where all he saw was her, and he prioritized her. So his family with his children weren't as important anymore. So it was really, really hard for me to understand that. And for me, my escape was running. So I ran myself to death, basically. So I was like running 2-3 miles every day, going to the gym and just kind of getting my mind off things. And then I was introduced to the Pixiu, which for me, that was my go-to all the time. You're here for me, you're here for me. And so it helped me so much to get through so many obstacles that I was living, but without getting into too many little details, because we could be here for 3 hours. I could talk my butt off if you want to. But I got out of that hole and I did it. And I'm still struggling. Don't think that I'm perfect now, but I'm not where I was a year and a half ago. I've taken this step to better myself and be stronger. Although I have my days where I'm a little sad of everything that's happened with my life, because when you sign up to get married, you sign up to get married for life. You don't think that someone is going to do this to you, especially your best friend that you've known for 15 years. Yeah. I mean, I have my good days and my bad days, but you know what? At the end of the day, I know what I deserve, and I have to keep on saying that to myself. I know I deserve better. I know this person will come along and see what I have to offer and treat me the way that I deserve to be treated. And that was the hardest, because it was so easy to fall back into that person. It's easy to beg to what you had, that security, that financial security. You know what I mean? People second guess themselves. Like, did I do this? Did I deserve this? You just question and question. And I remember thinking, no. And my daughter helped me. I know she's only 12 and she's taller than me because her dad is tall, but she was like, I don't care what you do, but just don't go back, because you deserve the best. You're the best mom and you know what you deserve. And I'm thankful for her, the way I raised her to be a strong woman. And sometimes she reminded me of how I raised her. Like, you need to be strong and you need to move forward. And it's one day at a time. It's really hard. There's some days I didn't think I was going to make it. And what's harder is that I wasn't an alcoholic. So I couldn't turn to drinks because I don't drink. And I couldn't turn to pills because I don't like them. Maybe friends. I had a lot of friends and I had a lot of support. So they were awesome to me. I'm not one to go ask for help, but they would, come by and they would bring me food and they would, want to talk and force me to talk. So I had a really good support system around me. So that helped a lot. But otherwise, I was lost. It was very hard. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's funny because when you were talking about your story and while I was taking off my mask, it reminded me so much of the reason why I decided to do this podcast in the first place, because you were mentioning how you lost yourself being a mom, in a sense, right? Like, you gave yourself so much and you kind of identified with being a mom. And that's literally the reason why I really want to remind people that are listening that we're not the mask that we put on or the roles that we play, right? Because we're a mom, we're also a daughter, right? Like both of us are daughters, you know what I mean? And we're also business owners. We have all these different roles, and sometimes we get just too attached to those roles and we forget who we actually are truly. And so while I was taking off my mask, I'm like, it's hardening on my face. And it's like, this is what happens when you are immersed too much into that specific role. So thank you so much for sharing that story. I feel like a lot of people could resonate with that. Personally, for me, I don't have kids yet, so I have no idea what that path holds. You know, for people that are listening that are interested in purchasing the Pixiu bracelet or have some doubts around it, what would you say to them?
You know, I always tell people, if you don't take that dive, you'll never know. It's like anything. It's like a new venture, whether it's work or business, you don't know the unknown. It's just like my divorce. I didn't know how it was going to end up. You know, am I going to end up in the street? And things work out the way they need to be. So what I say is take the plunge. You have nothing to lose. If for whatever reason, within 30 days, nothing is happening. Nothing is happening. You're not seeing anything, not even some positivity around you. Send it back, money back guarantee. You haven't lost anything. And I'm always here. It's not like, oh, you know what, it broke and it's not working. And there's always me. I'm the person behind the business. And, you know, for me, your satisfaction is my priority. So if for whatever reason, things don't work out for you, I can refund, I could exchange. That's my priority. I like my customers to be happy. And so I always want to make sure that, you know, they leave with their Pixiu thinking this is the best investment that they've done. So yeah, satisfaction guarantee, there's nothing to lose really. At the end of the day, it's a small investment for how much positivity it'll bring to you. And obviously listen to the signs. That's what I always say, listen to the sign. There's going to be signs, all right? Just grab them. Don't ignore them. There's reasons why they come to your life. So just be aware of that, because you're going to see a lot of them as you're wearing the bracelet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And what about, let's say someone that is maybe religious like you are, and they're just like, oh my gosh, am I doing like a bad thing? You know what I'm saying? Like, sometimes people may feel that way. What can you say to people that maybe are hesitant because of a religious reason? Like, does this Pixiu bracelet have a religious tie to it? Yeah, let's talk more about that.
Yeah, that's a very good question. I've had some people ask me that, but you know what? God wants good. God wants positivity. God wants people to love one another. God wants, you know, people to get along, peace. God only wants good. All right. And what this Pixiu is doing is good. What it's doing, it's making you regain that confidence, protecting you from negativity, making you smile again, giving you the tools to be a better person, to build from what you have and to succeed. So what it's doing is just giving you that light that God would want. And so it won't interfere with any kind of religion per se. It's only going to enhance your life. So it has no negative connotation. I still take it when I go to church. Again, I've talked to a priest about it too. He's told me, you know what, as long as you do good and in your heart, you have strong convictions and you do well by people, that's all they care about. And he's absolutely right. I think it's all in your head. I think if you start thinking negative connotation with something, I think that's when you start bringing the negativity and start believing in it and start making things. So a lot of it has to do with your mind too. If you think you're doing wrong, then maybe that's not for you. If you think that this is going to do well for you and it's helping your surrounding, it's helping with the love, it's helping with your family, it's helping with people. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to help everybody because it's helped me so much. So I'm just giving back really in a way. I don't feel any conflict, or I don't feel like I'm doing anything wrong in that sense. Yeah. At the end of the day, it is an object, and it's an object that we value. So it has nothing to do with interfering with your religion. I still want you to stay within your religion, but have this amulet, this little good luck charm with you that you can bring along, that's going to bring that positivity and that light in your life. So that's how I see it. Mm-hmm.
Well, I love that. So let's wrap up the interview by me asking you, you know, what are you most excited about for the rest of the year? Like, what kind of bracelets are you coming out with? Any products? Let's talk about that.
Yeah, I started my new line of wood Pixius, which are so beautiful. So I'm starting that. I know the woods that I'm taking is from a special tree that a lot of Indians pray upon, and it brings a lot of good luck and fortune. So I want to add that to my collection. I've already have some of the wood bracelet, but it doesn't have the Pixiu on it yet. It has a lot of the precious stones on it that bring you, you know, good luck and good health. My precious stones bring a lot of health benefits, a lot of them for circulation, for diabetes. So a lot of those stones have a lot of effects, like the quartz and whatnot. I'm sure we've heard how they bring a lot of positive effects, but incorporating the stones with the Pixiu, I think would be a great thing because you're getting two benefits in one. Although we already have the stones, which is the obsidian, which already is used for negativity and protecting you against that. But I'm hoping to do that. I'm doing a lot of silver and real gold. So that's exciting too, because a lot of people, they don't mind the plated gold, but they wish they had the real gold. And I do have that. So we're just starting the collection of real golds, which are beautiful. They're absolutely stunning.
Yeah, that's amazing. So everyone that's listening, I mean, definitely get a bracelet yourself. I've had mine for a week now, still documenting, all the opportunities, the results that are coming my way. So I'm very, very excited for people to get their hands on this bracelet. So definitely check it out. I'm going to leave your website in the show notes of the podcast so that they can go and, again, I love that you have so many different selections, especially for people that they want wood or they want obsidian and like the gold and the silver.
You got the rope too, the rope one, which is one of my favorite. I wear it all the time. So beautiful. If you want something like more delicate, because you have a flowy dress and you don't want the bulky look, you could go with that rope one, which is one of my top sellers. Right now we don't have the real gold yet, but we have the real silver Pixiu rope bracelet, which is so beautiful too. That's one of my favorites.
That's amazing, Shelly. Thank you so much again for being on the show with us. Again, for those of you guys that want to check out her stuff, make sure you check out her website, powerfulbracelet.com.
Powerful bracelet with no S.com. Yeah, because people put bracelets at the end with an S. So it's no S.com, powerfulbracelet.com. Yeah. Make sure you read the rules before you wear it, because I want to make sure it works for you guys as much as it's worked for us.
Yeah. And I was going to say, you can also follow Shelly on YouTube as well. She has a lot of informative videos on the Pixiu bracelet. I've been definitely watching all of them. So definitely check her out.
Awesome. Thank you so much for having me. It was so much fun. And yeah, I hope it was informative so you guys could learn a thing or two. And I hope it brings you as much luck as it has for me and give you all the tools to bring into your lives. So I'm really excited. Thank you so much for having me.